Hi, Erica.
Hi.
Welcome to Clout Nine.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how are you today?
Well, I got rear-ended on the way here, as I mentioned, so a little shook, but I'm excited, and we're just going to channel that energy into the positive today and have a good combo.
Are you okay? Is
Oh,
everyone
I'm
okay?
fine. Yeah, I'm good. It was like we were in a giant truck, so no damage, but just always a little scary.
No, it really is.
Yeah.
So, Erica, you're a health and fitness influencer, turned bodybuilder, turned powerlifter, turned hybrid athlete, turned triathlon runner, turned superhuman.
Yeah, too many variations. Not too many, but just a lot of variations.
No, that's
of me.
It's amazing because the thought of running to me makes me want to jump off a cliff.
And that was me like 3 years ago, so I get you, girl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never thought I'd be here, but here we are. So.
How did you get here? How did you get to triathlons?
Well, I started in the fitness realm by going to the gym in high school with my brother. You know, I was like, I'm going to do some squats. This was in the era of like Nikki Blacketer, Heidi Somers.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was posting on Instagram, and I was like, that looks fun. So I started copying their workouts. He took me to the gym. Fast forward a couple years later, I got into the bodybuilding scene a little bit more heavily, and then I decided, you know what, I want to get stronger. So I tried the powerlifting side of things, did that, got super strong, but then felt really unathletic. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I was strong, but I was like, the thought of running a 5K right now sounds like death, and I don't like that I feel that way. So I decided to start running just to challenge myself, and I fell in love with it, much to my surprise, because like I said, I was not a cardio girl before. And then that spiraled into, you know what, I like the running side. I've run half marathons. I've done a marathon. Let's try triathlon. Now I'm doing triathlon. So it kind of just all like spirals from each other, I guess.
Yeah.
You build from everything.
Were you doing any sports before this?
Like back in my younger years?
Yeah.
I did. I started dancing when I was younger. I also did synchronized figure skating.
Wait, what? What is synchronized figure skating?
It's like synchronized swimming, but on ice. So like it's a group of you. Oh yeah, and I did one to like the Shrek theme song. We're all in like pink and neon green, and we're all, you know, coordinated. So I did that for a couple years. I danced competitively for 10 years. I played soccer when I was little. I actually did curling, which is very Canadian of me.
That is so Canadian of you.
Very Canadian. And I did rowing as well. And then I kind of stopped like right before I was going into university, and then in university is when I kind of picked up more into the gym side of things.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I've done a lot.
Yeah, you've done a lot. So you've always been into fitness.
Yeah, although I wouldn't say that I was an athletic person growing up. I never felt like, well, I mean, still to this day, I have no hand-eye coordination. So don't sign me up for a sport with like that requires a ball and me hitting it.
No basketball.
No basketball, no baseball. But yeah, I mean, I was always doing something, and I like team sports and I like exercise, but I always wanted to do it in a way that was like enjoyable to me. So yeah, that's my origin to the triathlon world.
Origin to the triathlon world. Okay, so as far as social media, have you always been doing social media that relates back to fitness?
Yeah, that's how it started.
Yeah, so tell me how that started.
So I was in college, or university, as us Canadians call it. University, I know. So I was in, I think, my second or third year of university, and I was just going to the gym as per usual. And I worked at the gym. A lot of my friends were interested. I was in a sorority back then too, and a lot of my sorority friends would ask me, "Oh, can you give me advice on how to work out? You know, tips and tricks, whatever." And I was like, "Let me just like record some of my workouts, send them to you, whatever." And then a lot of them started encouraging me to just post it on Instagram, and I was nervous. I was like, I'll post it, but I'll make a private account so that you guys can follow the workouts, but I don't have to open up to the rest of the world. So I made a private account, and it was private for about a month, and then I was like, you know what, we're just gonna make it public and see what happens. And it grew to over 100,000 in less than a year.
Oh, wow.
That was back in the day when Instagram was very quick to grow. Easier than it is now. But yeah, that's kind of how it started, was just to help my girlfriends out in the gym, and yeah, took off.
Oh, that's amazing. What platforms are you on right now?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. That's pretty much it, yeah.
And which one's your favorite?
As a consumer, YouTube all day.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like for you, what do you watch on YouTube?
I watch vlogs. I love watching podcasts. Like I have a podcast going pretty much all day if I'm sitting there editing, and I'll just have it in the background. I love YouTube. I love long form content. I know that it's kind of going out of style.
Not really.
I don't know. Everyone says that, but
I think it's very subjective because, like, obviously, like, I don't consume YouTube, but I know how popular it is, and every now and then I'm like wanting to look something up, and I'm watching a long form 20-minute long YouTube video now.
Yeah, so as a consumer, definitely YouTube, and as a creator, I don't know, it ebbs and flows. Right now, I would say probably TikTok.
Yeah, really.
But I love YouTube, and I love YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
I think that's a very underrated niche and an easy way you grew your channel basically all through YouTube Shorts, right?
I have 1.4 million subscribers on YouTube, and the last time I posted a long form video was like 6 months ago.
Yeah, so, if any creators are watching this, like YouTube Shorts, utilize that because it's an untapped market.
My biggest video ever in my entire life is 52 million views on a YouTube Short. And I got,
amazing.
I don't know how many subscribers I gained from that, but I now have over 1 million, and I got my gold plaque, which was like, I was like, wow. I almost felt like I cheated with getting shorts, but I was like, no.
I know what you mean, though, yeah.
Right? But I don't know. You make long form YouTube videos, though, right? How often do you make those?
I post once a week.
Ooh.
And I would say I've maybe missed 1 or 2 weeks in the last 2 years.
Okay.
So I post consistently every week on YouTube. I will say, though, my short form videos on YouTube, my YouTube Shorts, they gain way more views than the long form, but it's a great way to convert people to long form. So if they see a shorter video and then they go to your channel and they're like, oh, I like this recipe video. Oh, well, I actually have a whole full day of eating where I show you how to make every single recipe in detail. Go watch that. It's 20 minutes. And then they're locked in,
Yeah, you're doing it the smart way. It just takes a while to grow, obviously. How many subscribers are you at now?
Oh my gosh. I want to say 60,000.
Oh, wow.
Around there, maybe a little bit less or a little bit more, somewhere around there.
No, that's really impressive. Because growing on YouTube is so hard, especially for long form, but that's awesome.
Thanks.
How long have you been doing the long form?
Well, I wasn't consistent when I started.
Yeah.
So I've been posting on YouTube, I would say for maybe 3 or 4 years. But back then I would post once a month and then it wouldn't get views and I'd get discouraged and then I would stop. And then, it's like the cycle. And then last year is when I really committed to just posting. And if I didn't get views, I didn't get views, but I wanted to have that consistency and it does pay off. I mean, they say consistency for a reason, right? So
yeah, I will say the long form YouTube has always been my hardest thing to stick to.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be a long form YouTube creator. And then I make one and it gets like 200 views. And I'm like,
well, they also take the longest to edit typically. So it's like you're putting in all this time. I mean, if I film like last week, for example, I filmed a full week of training, right? So I'm filming every single day, all my training sessions. And then I have hours of footage that goes into a maybe 35-minute video. And it takes me 8 to 10 hours to edit it. And then it only gains X amount of views. So I can understand why a lot of people get discouraged.
And then also like writing scripts. If you're like someone like me who is like going to talk about a topic, I can't talk off topic very well unless I have a script because I will ADHD so hard on one way. Yeah, because I was trying to do like Drax Facts videos, but then I would just like push it off because I was like, well, I need short form and I can shoot a lot more short form that'll get the message out faster. You can just
knock it out.
So my middle ground for this was the podcast, right? Because like this is now talking about social media and it's long form and it'll be once a week. Yeah. Plus, if you guys don't know, you can collab on YouTube now. Do you know about this?
No.
Oh my God. It is
cool.
sick. So you can collab on YouTube the same way you do on like TikTok and Instagram. So when I post this podcast, I'm going to collab with my big ass account.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. So like it'll live on the Clout Nine, but then it'll be collabed on my main account.
Okay, very cool.
Crossover.
Yeah, that helps you gain more views. So
yeah, because like I'm starting this Clout Nine from scratch.
Yeah. And that's intimidating. Even as somebody with an audience, like to start something new, you never know how it's going to go over. But if you can have that way to just like boost it a little bit from like initially, that's awesome.
I was also debating like, do I upload this to Drax Social and YouTube? But I was like, no, because all podcasts have their own channels.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I'll start another account from scratch. Here we go.
I think it's a great niche to get into though. Like I think it's the topic or the kind of genre of podcast that you're making is, I don't know that there's a lot of podcasts that are interviewing people in the social media space and asking them like the downside almost, or like to ask them to be vulnerable about their experience. So I'm excited to watch it as a creator. And I think it'll also give people an inside look into what it's really like, because I think a lot of people paint a picture that isn't accurate to what a day-to-day life is. So
yeah, exactly. Like I did my research and all of the social media podcasts are either here's a social media tip of the week, here's how the algorithm works, or it's like from, Unwell or from the other podcast ones that talk about more of the pop culture and the drama, like what happened on Love Island, and you know what I mean? And that doesn't really resonate with me because I can't follow all the drama, you know? And I just found that there was no space for creators to talk about other stuff than being perfect.
No, I'm here for it.
So on that topic, actually, like, do you struggle with anything on social media? You just said like, oh, I have to edit this long form podcast. Do you ever get burnt out?
Oh, for sure. I feel like it comes in waves. I don't know if you would agree, but I feel like I have months where I'm feeling super motivated. I have so many ideas, and then I'll go so hard, and then I kind of crash, or I burn out, if you will. And then I'm like, I don't have any creative ideas. But I've kind of learned to lean into that in a way, because I just kind of run with the moments where I have a lot of ideas, and I try to backlog, or I write them all down, like anything that comes to my mind. You should see the list. I have a Monday board on my computer that is just a bunch of topics that probably make no sense to anyone but me. But when I go back and read it 6 months later, I'm like, oh, that was a good idea. I should make that video. And so in the moments where I'm not feeling motivated, or I don't have the creative juice, I guess, I just go there. But I definitely have moments where I'm burnt out. There's so many things that you can talk about, so many avenues of the struggles with social media, whether it's, hate comments, or body image in the fitness industry, or pressure to keep up this image of wealth, or whatever it is. I feel like that's a really hot topic right now, is all these influencers just flexing their wealth. It's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird.
The Ozempic era, like, there's so many avenues we could go down. But yes, I am human, and I struggle with a lot of different things, and I have moments where I'm very burnt out and I don't feel creative, and that's tough as somebody whose livelihood is reliant on them being creative. And I'm sure you can relate to that.
100%. Like, I think a couple nights ago, I woke up, I was scrolling through social media, watching all these videos, and they just keep getting better and better, and like AI and graphics. And I'm like, I started like having almost like an anxiety attack, where I was like, wait, do I have to do all that? Like, oh my God, like I need to stay up really late and write all these scripts. And it was just like, whoa. And so I was like, I caught myself spiraling, and I just turned off my phone and went to bed. I was like, it becomes a lot of pressure sometimes.
Yeah. I actually have a question for you, if that's okay.
Of course.
Do you ever struggle with finding a balance between scrolling and staying up to date with trends and content, and then also wanting to detach? Because that's something that I deal with all the time, is I try not to be on my phone 24/7, especially when I'm editing and I'm on my computer and doing things, because I want to live a life that's free from tech as much as I can. But then also it is kind of required to a certain extent to have knowledge of what's hot and what's happening, and to create videos that are in line with that as well.
Yeah, so I'm so busy with the business that I actually have to set aside like 30 minutes a day to scroll. I literally will tell my team, I'm like, guys, I'm going to go scroll for 30 minutes to see what's popping. But then the downside of this is at night, when I'm finally winding down from my day, I now want my own time. So I like to watch TV, right? But then while I'm watching TV, I'm scrolling. And then, I get kind of stuck in that little like scroll. And, and I'm like, whoa, it's been 20 minutes. What am I doing? So I kind of struggle with that too, finding that balance. Because I get it. Like, I want to scroll to like see what's trending. But then I'm like, I don't want my entire life online, even though my entire life is online.
Yeah. And also I don't know about you, but I can get caught up in the not replicating things, but it's like, oh, these videos are doing really well, so how can I, put my own spin on it? But then sometimes it's like the videos that I just think of on my own are the ones that actually do the best, and they don't need to copy paste or follow down the same trajectory that everyone's going down. So finding that balance of, okay, it's great to consume and be inspired, but also you got to this point for a reason, and so just like follow your own creative inspiration and juices, if that makes sense.
You nailed that so well. I just saw this video about a girl basically saying that when she first started making content, she didn't follow anyone and she didn't scroll, and she just made...
That's so interesting.
She just made whatever, and it did really well, and she gained, I think, like 1 million or 2 million followers. But then the moment she started scrolling, she started getting really anxiety and getting influenced, and it was like... Whoa. And I feel that sometimes, like, I'm easily influenced. I'll see other people doing things, I'm like, wait, I want to do that. But I think back to when I first started, and I was just making American versus Russian videos in my little studio apartment in Venice, and I didn't have any guidelines. I just did what I felt, and that's my biggest month ever. I hit 1 million followers in a month, and I'm like, wait, we need to go back to that. I've
been watching a lot of people who took 2-3 3 years off social media, and then they come back and they share their experience being offline versus being back online. And it's so interesting if you haven't consumed any of that content.
Wait, I saw one girl literally yesterday. She was like, hey, did I fall off? And then she talks about like how she lost like 30,000 followers from not posting. And then she's back telling her story.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that was like a trending thing now.
Oh yeah, it is a trend for sure.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you ever feel like pressure to stay on top of trends like that?
I do. I think my content has evolved a lot. Like you mentioned, I've gone through so many different eras of my journey, and I do create mostly fitness and health content. So it's mostly surrounding my training, my nutrition, recipes, kind of like my routines and things of that nature. So because it's evolved relatively quickly in the last, I'd say 2 to 3 years, I've gone through kind of different iterations of my journey and myself. In a way, like I don't feel like I've had to lean into so many trends because I have so much new content kind of and new versions of myself or things coming up that I can create content around. But I can imagine that if I, never went into the triathlon world, for example, and I was just in the running world, then maybe I would kind of be consumed a little bit more by the trends and the monotony of just scrolling and finding things that are working for other people.
Yeah. And like, I feel like when you do that, you are constantly just like a little behind. You're like, wait, what's trending? I need to make a video. I need to make a video.
Yeah.
What was your first like viral video that put you on the map?
So funny enough, I mean, it's hard to say. Back in the day when I first started my Instagram, I actually think it was more swipe photos that would take off back then. So it would be like, the classic like ab flex in the mirror and Gymshark leggings that it was like that Pinterest photo that everyone
back in
would
that
search.
era.
I know, if we could go back. So those definitely got traction. Workouts, I would do like swipe workouts. Those would definitely blow up. But I actually think, funny enough, my YouTube channel, I used to get a lot of views. So I work with a fitness clothing company, and I was their first influencer that made YouTube try-on hauls. And this was back in the day when YouTube try-on hauls were way more popular, I want to say, than they are now. Because we didn't have the short form where people are posting just like the quick try-on clips of, and people wanted the information on how does it fit, what's the fabric like. So I would make YouTube try-on hauls of every collection, every launch, and that grew my YouTube channel as well. And they got so many views, like hundreds of thousands of views on these videos. And then also that would then relate to commission and things, which was great for me. But those were probably some of my first videos to really take off. And it was back in, the era of YouTube try-on hauls, which is so funny because Instagram was really where I started.
Yeah. What was your first like big Instagram viral video?
Oh, well, when Reels first started, were they always called Reels? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was like videos before, but then it turned into Reels. Yeah, it was Reels.
So yeah, when Reels first started popping off, every single reel that I would post would get like 2 million views. And it was all just workout videos, like do my leg day with me or whatever. But I think it was just because they were trying to push out that content, and I would like to think they were good workouts, and like I had cute outfits on and all the things, and they would just get views back in the day. And then slowly but surely, once it started getting more and more saturated, those views started to kind of dwindle a little bit. But yeah, when they first rolled that out, it was like without doubt every video would blow up.
Wow.
Yeah.
2 million views on the workout videos. You're like early days.
It was great.
That's sick. I know. And then it's just...
I would love for that to come back.
I know. Right now you have to be like so creative with your ideas in order for it to even pop off.
I was going to say, have you noticed the views going from like back in the day when views were, I don't want to say easier to get, but in a way I feel like they were, to now where you almost have to work a little bit harder to garnish the same like viewership? Do you struggle with that at all, seeing your views like fluctuate so much, or being like, damn, back in the day when I was getting 2 million views and now here I am getting 100,000, and that's still amazing, but it's different. Yeah,
actually for me it jumped from platform to platform, because when I first started, it was TikTok was firing off, like every video was like 10 million 15 million, whatever. And that was doing my American vs. Russian series. And on Instagram I think they were getting pretty decent numbers, but not the same on TikTok. And then about a year and a half ago, I don't know how long ago, but basically when TikTok Shop was getting really popular, my views completely tanked on TikTok and then skyrocketed on Instagram. My views on Instagram were insane. Like, they're getting millions of views, and I was like, oh, Instagram's where it's at. And it used to be the opposite. I used to get like barely any on Instagram. So obviously content changes and trends change. Like stuff that I made 5 years ago, I look back at it, it was great for that era, but I look back and I'm like, it's not even funny now. So to answer that question, obviously you have to evolve in order to keep up, but you can evolve at your own pace in a sense. I actually really like the videos I'm making now. Like I do a lot of like the get ready with me's as like my Russian character, bartending series. Like I like making that stuff because it ties in my love for like fashion and my Russian character still. But yeah, I mean, obviously it gets discouraging. I do remember YouTube Shorts though. Early on, I was getting insane views, and I was getting paid like insane for that.
Yeah.
And now
it's different.
It's different, but that's life.
Yeah.
Are you on Snapchat?
No, but I know people, close friends that are on Snapchat making crazy money.
Yeah. Yeah. I was part of the Snapchat Spotlight crew back in the day where they were giving $1 million away a day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So back in the day, if you had posted a video
to one person?
No.
Oh,
so
like, what?
No. Basically back in the day, if you posted a video and it did decently well and maybe it did better than a lot of other videos, you would get a piece of that $1 million.
Okay,
and one time I got $17,000 from one video.
Oh my God.
And that video only had 300,000 views.
Wow.
This is 2020. And I think they realized real fast that like, we can't sustain $1 million a day.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact details, but then there were so many creators who bought condos who like that money was life-changing, you know?
Totally.
And then now, like it was a great way for Snapchat to get put back on the map. And then now they're paying for stories. So
it's crazy.
It's crazy. This is a little hack for you guys. I have my VA downloads all my old TikTok videos and posts 7 a day on my stories, and I just get paid. Some of my stories get millions of views.
On Snapchat?
On Snapchat stories.
See, I've never posted my Snapchat to my public audience. So I don't use Snapchat. So it's like I would have to then just build the audience from scratch, I guess, if I wanted to do that. But hey.
I mean, because basically what they do is when they post it to the stories, they also post it to Spotlight.
Okay.
And Spotlight, that's like a double whammy. You could literally post your entire YouTube videos on there.
Okay.
And it'll clip
it into like 15 seconds. Wow.
I wonder what the maximum length is, but maybe, I don't know if you have a clip or something, you could have them clip it exactly that and just spam it.
Okay, that's good to know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Worth a try. But yeah, I think the requirements in order to get on that monetization was like posting 28 days in a row, getting X amount, and then you get verified, you get like in the program. I did it because one of my friends told me to do it who lives here in Vegas, and then all of a sudden, one day I got the monetization. I was like, sick.
Okay. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah, Snapchat.
There's so many platforms. X, what's the one that Instagram has now? Threads.
Threads.
I was on that for like a day, and then
I was so into Threads when it first started because they were giving crazy bonuses. I was getting paid like $2,000 a month if I was on Threads. I was like, fuck yeah. And then they took it away. And I was like, I don't care anymore. And it wasn't about the money, but I guess it was.
Yeah.
I was really into it, but then I realized how time consuming it was. And I know it's such a good platform, but like I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
I guess the better way to say it is it's not a priority.
It's not a priority. I feel that too.
Yeah, I really liked it though because there are in the social media world, there's a lot of good nuggets on there. And then Facebook's been paying really well again with bonuses.
I haven't been on Facebook. I mean, I check it once a year, if I'm being honest. I'm just not a Facebook girly.
Well, my Instagram is connected to my Facebook, so it just posts. And then I didn't realize that recently they've been doing fire bonuses. Instagram's cracking me up right now. I used to get bonuses for Reels. They're like, no, carousels only. So I only get bonuses for carousels.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I've been posting a lot about posting carousels. Right. Are you doing carousels?
I do, yes.
Yeah. Are they doing well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go back and try posting like the OG swipe workout carousel. And
you should.
See how it does.
You should.
I haven't done that in so long.
My Explore page is like 70% carousels now.
Really?
Yes.
Mine's all reels still.
Interesting.
We should compare. My Instagram updated recently.
Wait, do you have your phone?
No, my phone's over there.
Wait, can you grab her phone? Let's look at this real quick.
Thank you so much. You just get used to how it looks and then they change it again.
Okay, so we are going to look up what our Explore pages look like right now. Okay, so
I don't even know how to get to my Explore page now.
It's the little hour.
Okay. Oh, yours is updated too.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, mine's Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. What's yours?
Okay, mine is a bunch of hair color and outfits and nails for some reason. Oh, because I was looking at nail stuff. Okay, so
mine's all reels, girl. Look.
Okay, watch this. Mine is all reels on my personal page.
Okay.
Then when I go to not Britney Spears. Then when I go to my Drax social page, it's all carousels.
Oh.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't think I have a single carousel on here. Every single one is a reel.
Yeah, look, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of
That's
whatever.
good to know.
It must be because I look up a lot of
are.
carousels on here, but I found that interesting. Wait, let's look at the Clout Nine page. I haven't used it that much. Yeah, it's just random. It's like food.
It has no idea what your niche is. It
has no idea. Wait, I'm curious too. What's your screen time?
Oh, probably bad.
How do I look that up? But here's the
thing. My screen time is probably high because I edit everything on my phone.
Oh my God.
Let's see.
Mine is terrifying.
Daily average, 5 hours and 54 minutes.
I'm scared to say mine. I should have just called this podcast screen time.
Is it, can I guess? 12 hours. Higher? 14 hours. Do you sleep? 16 hours. Higher? 18 hours.
It's 23 hours and 24 minutes. Okay, to be fair, I use a sleep sound app.
Oh, that's probably
So it's playing sleep sounds. But it's crazy. Probably, my daily average is 23 hours and 24 minutes.
That's got to be from the sleep app. You can go in and look at which apps you're using.
What the fuck?
That is crazy, though.
Wait, how do I look
No judgment. But.
Oh, yeah, but that's insane. Oh, here. See activity. Okay, this makes no sense. It says that I spend 19 hours on screenshots.
What?
What? 17 hours on Instagram. This is insane. Oh, this is a week. This is a week. Okay, per day is 18 hours.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not surprised by that.
No, me neither. Because, I mean...
Knowing you and your job and everything. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, I only spent an hour and 24 minutes on Instagram.
Does your phone and your computer sync to create your screen time? Or would my screen time be different on my computer?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I'd be curious to see.
Yeah.
Because I use both.
It does. It does? It sync? Okay. This says I spend 6 hours on screenshots. What does that mean?
We're going to have to look that up.
I'm going to have to look that up. That's interesting. And then it says I spend 6 hours on setup, but then messages is 58 minutes and Instagram is an hour and 24 minutes. Huh. Interesting.
It just makes me think about people that have like a quote unquote normal job, and how their brain works differently, or, just like how their mental health is compared to somebody who's constantly online scrolling, like what the difference is, if they feel so much more free or if they still struggle with the things that we as creators struggle with. I'm curious. Yeah,
I'm curious too because, they might be just a consumer.
Yeah.
So being just a consumer, I mean, I don't know, but you might not be maybe as insecure because you're not putting yourself on camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you ever get insecure, especially in like the fitness world, of like how your body looks online?
Yeah. I was going to ask you too, because I know you started out in the fitness space.
Yeah.
I definitely have my moments, and I've gone through different eras in my journey, as I've said probably 10 times now on this podcast episode. But for example, starting out actually, to get a little bit vulnerable, when I started my fitness journey, I was coming out of my eating disorder recovery. So I was really small back then. And my goal was to like build muscle and, get healthy again. And then I did do that. And I, built muscle slowly over time and I felt great. But, we're, as women, as humans, we all have days where we're feeling insecure, or especially when you're taking a million photos and videos, it's like you see yourself from every angle, whereas the average person is not seeing themselves from every angle, and you start to nitpick the little things. And then I started getting into powerlifting, and I saw my body shift from being in this kind of bodybuilder space to all of a sudden now I'm eating a lot more food. I gained probably 20 pounds, some of it muscle, some of it just body fat, some of it water retention, whatever. But seeing that fluctuation is definitely... Even though I see myself every day, like I'm taking photos, I'm taking videos, and then you get the comments on top of that. Hey, your body's changed. Yeah, it has. That's because I have different goals now. And I actually was just reading through some of my YouTube comments the other day, and somebody had said something like, hey, I've seen your physique has changed a lot in the last year from, when you were doing X, Y, and Z to now you're training for a triathlon. And I'm still going to the gym, but my training looks a lot different. I'm doing a lot more endurance sports now. So I don't have as much muscle as I used to. And people comment on that. And whether it's negative or positive, you are going to interpret that however you want to interpret that. And it's usually just a reflection of how you feel internally. So I try to remind myself of that. And I'm content with how I look and how I feel right now. But it's not to say that I don't have my days where I'm like, I feel bloated, or I don't want to film today because I don't feel great about my body. So yeah, I think that's so normal. But I think it's just like elevated from the average person who's not recording every aspect of their life and seeing their body from every single angle.
Yep. Yeah, the every single angle aspect is so interesting because I think I was talking to someone the other day. No one is looking at your flaws as much as you are. When people are like, oh my God, don't look at my giant pimple on my face. I was like, I wasn't.
Never noticed.
And I wasn't going to judge you for it because you're a human. So it's like, it isn't until you point out those flaws that I'm like, okay, well now I'm looking, but it's not really anything. So again, I always remind myself too, I'm like, no one's looking at how I look more than I am. You know, it's like when you go to the gym and you think people are looking at you. No, they're looking at themselves in the mirror.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's interesting too, especially in the fitness space, just seeing how the fitness space has evolved in like body types.
Yes.
Even with, like I said, Ozempic, all of these things back in like maybe even 2-3 years ago, it was BBL Central, and now it's everyone's trying to be as skinny as possible. And it's like naturally your body is not going to fluctuate that much and be able to achieve all of those very different, very specific body types, maybe ever, or in the span of 2 years that they're ebbing and flowing. So that also then kind of influences you as a creator, because maybe somebody who had a BBL body type, even naturally had like that kind of curvy body type in the fitness space 2 years ago, was blowing up because that was everybody's dream body. And now they're maybe not getting views, and these, really small, petite, like aesthetically looking women are getting more views because the Pilates body is now in. So that also, I think, plays a role. And it's just interesting to watch the shifts and see how quickly people are to jump from one to the other just because it's trendy. It's wild.
It is wild. Like, for those that don't know, I started in the fitness space. I mean, I've started in so many spaces, but I used to be a bodybuilder. Back when I was bodybuilding, reels weren't really a thing yet. And so my entire Instagram was just very polished photo shoots, showing off my butt, my abs.
Posed.
Lighting. Very like, and very edited, like just like hard, like contrast colors. And then you do a carousel, and that was the thing. Same as the swipe workouts, so popular. That was like the thing then. And I look back now, and of course that was like, a time of my life, just a period, whatever. But it was the most not me, because there was nothing funny about it. Like, it was just, hi, I'm a hot girl. And that was definitely an insecurity of mine, because I never saw myself as attractive until I started bodybuilding. I'll never forget the moment when, like, after my first couple shows, I was like, oh my God, I'm hot.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like Instagram told me I was hot. It was just like I finally felt it. So then I wanted my Instagram I wanted everyone to know that I was hot.
And you get that validation too from people, the likes, the comments. Yeah.
And then when I got into doing what I do now, doing like comedy, there was a transition where I was doing personal trainer versus fitness influencer.
Yeah, I've seen those.
And that was the beginning of like TikTok Reels. And so that I was like, oh, I like doing this comedy Reels better. Yeah. And then I got out of, then I was getting out of fitness altogether. And I'm where I am now, but it definitely was an interesting period. And it's crazy to look at how different fitness content is now, because after I got out of fitness is when everyone started making the comedy reels about fitness. And I was like, wow, I completely missed that. Yeah. It's kind of crazy. I'm almost like, dang, I wish I hopped on that earlier, but I didn't know.
No, things are always evolving. I will say though, because I just said like, it's hard to see your body from so many different angles, and we have those moments. I do appreciate that a lot of creators now are being more open about it and being more vulnerable and sharing more of the raw side of things, because like you said, there was definitely that time period where everybody was so poised, so polished,
perfect,
posed in every way. And it's not to say that I still, like, even in like a morning routine, I still am going to pick clips that I think look better or that are going to perform better. Like, that's just the name of the game. So obviously take everything with a grain of salt that you're seeing, but people are being a little bit more real, a little bit more vulnerable, and showing the sides of them that they maybe wouldn't have shown 5 years ago when things were so put together and photoshopped.
Yeah, we're definitely entered into the era of being authentic and real. And I've seen a lot of videos go viral of the behind the scenes of shooting a video, of the messing up, going more viral than the actual video, because people want to see the real stuff now, which is why I started this podcast, because it's like, we're not perfect. Because the issue is if all the influencers are perfect, then that creates a stigma that all their followers should be perfect, and then everyone's just following this lie that doesn't exist.
And also, as much as it's aesthetically pleasing and it's inspiring to a certain extent to see these picture perfect lives, I personally, as a consumer, I get bored really easily. I'm like, okay, there's no personality here. There's no authenticity. And I tend to be engaged with the videos more that are the funny, like, oopsies, I messed up this edit, or, you know, I spilled my drink in the morning on myself, or whatever it is that's real. So I think, again, if you're somebody that's watching this that's wanting to dive into like being a creator, is to lean into that side of things, because that's what people are going to resonate with, and it's going to show more of your personality and who you are. And in this space where it is so saturated, not to say that there isn't room for everybody, but it is saturated to a certain extent, the people that are going to stand out are the people that are showing their true authentic selves, and it can be really easy to sniff out the people that aren't being authentic now.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I always tell creators like, oh, you know, I really want to have a character, or I want to get into social media. Like, what do I do? I always get people asking, like, what character should I be? Because I have a character. And I go, hold on. Just start by making content that you like to make in an area that you like to make, and it'll develop. Like, because if you're not authentic in your content, you can sniff it out.
Totally.
Even though I play a character, I have so much fun. You can tell I have fun. And that's why it resonates so hard, because it's like, I just like doing it.
Yeah.
But you know what? As we were talking, I was thinking, you know how I make my get ready with me videos? Like, get ready with me to ruin the man's life. I'm going to film the behind the scenes of it, because I do so many crazy things during that video that no one sees. And I'm going to post both videos, and I'll see what it does well.
Post them both, and then, you know, the trend where it's like whatever video you see first, like, comment on it.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to get, like, to see what people see first and what pops off more. I mean, you could tell by views as well, but.
Wait, how do I put that in the video or in the caption?
In the caption. Just say, like, comment if you see this video first. I'm posting 2 videos.
It's like the Group 7 girl.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Group 7.
Oh my gosh. Duh. Her Group 7 thing works, so just adopt that strategy. You see, I'm learning something new every time. It's a really good idea. I'm like, wow, that's fun. Let's go into your fitness triathlons.
Yeah.
And your
I love that you call it a fitness triathlon.
Why do I call it fitness triathlons? Fitness triathlon.
Triathlon, yeah.
Triathlons.
No, call it whatever you want, girl.
Yeah. Okay, how did you get into that?
Well, like I said earlier, I think it kind of just spiraled. Like, the marathon pipeline is so real. Starting, like, you start with a 5K and you're like, oh, I could do a 5K, I could do a 10K. If I can do a 10K, I can do a half marathon. If I can do, you know what I mean? It just kind of spirals and keeps building. And, you know, the marathon wasn't enough pain for me, I guess. So I decided I wanted to challenge myself more. But in all realness, I think I'm just somebody who, I like a challenge, and I like being bad at something, and that's why I loved powerlifting so much, was because I was hitting PRs, and I was improving so frequently and so consistently. It's like this high that you get from it. And I feel like anytime I adopt a new sport, I kind of feel that same way. And maybe that's a toxic trait, because I have gone through so many different sports in the last couple of years, or I guess evolutions of my fitness journey. But the triathlon really did evolve from, or was born from, that desire, I guess, to just start from scratch again and build from ground zero. Obviously, I have the running background, because I've been running now for 2.5, 3 years. And so I feel comfortable with that side of it. But the swimming, I had to teach myself how to swim. Wow. And it's also like, that is really good for content as well. People want to see, they don't want to see somebody who's already great at something. Just do it. The struggle. They want to see the struggle. They want the authenticity, going back to what we just said. So that's been really interesting, creating the content around it and just being vulnerable. And I bought my bike last year, but I bought cleats where you kind of like clip your shoes in. And I was making content about how I've fallen over many times. I've fallen on the side of the road. Like, that's just the reality of it. And it's embarrassing, but it's part of the journey. And so many people resonate and relate to that, and are like, oh my gosh, I was nervous to try it, but like, you're giving me like motivation to just go out and do it. So yeah, again, I think I like the starting from ground zero. I like feeling like I'm continually improving at something, and it's great to share that with other people. Yeah. And it's fun, like, trying something that you're not great at kind of feels like this challenge, and it gives you this like sense of like, well, I'm gonna figure it out. And I can relate to that so hard. I do this thing where I try a new skill every single year. Something that has always like scared me, or that I've always wanted to do, but I never did it, because I have free will and I can do whatever I want. Amazing. What was this year? Well, okay, let me start with the last couple of years. One of my favorite ones is I did those heels dance classes when I lived in LA. I've always thought those are cool. It was so cool, but I always thought I didn't know how to dance, or I was not coordinated enough. Took heels dance class, and after the first one, someone filmed me, and I was like, damn, I'm a bad bitch. I look great. And then it made me feel very sexy and feminine. And then this year was a doozy, because I tore my ACL, my meniscus. Womp womp. R.I.P. But you know what this year was about? This year was about being patient and going to physical therapy
and learning to just deal with an injury that was pretty hefty. So that was a different type of skill to learn. Next year, I've decided I'm going to do voice acting lessons.
I love that. And I think you're going to slay at that.
Yeah, so one of my other podcast guests, she's a voice actor, and she was like, honestly, even if you're not trying to be a voice actor, she's like, I think it's necessary for every human to take voice lessons because right now, I don't know about you, but I talk with my throat, which is why I'm out of breath versus talking with your diaphragm. And I've had voice issues in the past because of my very raspy voice. I used to have to go to voice therapy, but then that made me cry. So, but I've always wanted to get into voice acting. And she was basically saying, like, your voice, your sultry voice is very wanted in the industry.
Well, I feel like you already have a lot of range from what I've heard even. So just improving and building off that is going to be amazing. Yeah.
And like, I do come from some of my grandparents could sing. And I think there's a world where I can have a raspy singing voice, but I've never tried.
Yeah.
So like, I want to go to voice lessons, see if I can sing, see if I can act. Have you seen that trend though, where it's like seeing if I can sing on TikTok or something, and then they're like, oh nope, you know, like singing if you have a hidden talent that you didn't know about.
No, but I love that.
And I was like, that's me right now. Let's just see.
Yeah, make one of those videos. You never know, it could go viral.
Yeah. Although the music industry is brutal, I would never get into it. But
fair.
I work on the outside of it. But you never know.
That's exciting. I love that idea.
Yeah.
I feel like there's also a trend right now where people are making their own curriculum. Have you seen that?
No, tell me about it.
So there's a TikTok trend where people are creating their own curriculum. Basically, they're not going to school, but they're choosing, 1 to 5 topics that they want to learn more about. And they're buying books related to it, watching podcasts related to it. One of my friends is doing it right now. She wants to learn about like physics and stuff, but obviously she doesn't have time to go back to school for it. So she's bought textbooks and ChatGPT, whatever it is. They're finding time in their schedule and almost creating like a little school schedule for themselves to improve and to learn these skills that could then be related to different areas of their life, help them in their career, whatever it is. And I think it's a great way also to get off your phone. Hot take, but if you find yourself scrolling, like find a hobby that doesn't involve tech and can improve your life, and learning new skills it's never going to hurt you. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and that's why I try to do this new skill every year is to do something that doesn't revolve around a phone. Yeah. Because my entire job, my life, everything I like to do is like social media related. So, doing voice acting lessons is so different. Fun. And it's so fun. It's so fun. But is there any skill that you would want to try?
Oh my gosh, so many. I think physically, I'm at a place where I'm feeling good with the challenges that I've currently set for myself. I would like to learn how to surf one day. That's always been something that I would love to try. Mentally or just like skill wise, let me think. I would love to just learn more about like history. I love Greek history. I love Roman history. I would love to go to Egypt and learn more about Egyptian history. So that kind of thing. I don't know if that's really a skill, but just diving deeper into that. And I would love to be that girl that can fix cars or that can do things around the house. Like I build the IKEA furniture in our family. That is my job. But I would love to be able to know how to drill something into a wall. And my brother and my dad are both very skilled at that kind of thing. So I feel like maybe I could take a class on it. I actually did recently take a class on how to fix a flat tire on my bike because that's a skill I needed to know for my triathlon. And I was like, wow, I'm doing that thing. Like I could, if someone's on the side of the road, I could fix their tire now. Like, yeah, it gives you that confidence, like random skills to have. It really just does boost your repertoire and your confidence.
It's also a good little party trick. Someone needs help with something, you're like, I got it. They're like, really? You're like, no, seriously.
Totally.
Right now, I have Cam come over and hang all my stuff up. Yeah. But one of our other guests was basically talking about the same topic where just because you graduated doesn't mean you stop learning. Totally. So I love this era of creating your own curriculum because curriculum because we have so much access. We have access to so many things.
Everything.
YouTube, like podcasts, textbooks, courses, etc. It's like, just talk to someone or learn from someone that's already really good at the skill or just hire them to do it too. But yeah, I love learning stuff. My rule of thumb for me is I try to learn one new thing every single day.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
Do you write it down? I feel like that could be a cool something to reflect back on at the end of the year is if you wrote down what you learned that day, like one new thing, and then you have 365 things that you learned that you could pull from. That'd be really cool.
Wait, I love that. Wait, Cam, can you write that down and bold it, please? Like bold it, highlight it. That's an awesome idea. And because this episode is being recorded in November, December.
That's a great New Year's resolution.
That's a great
thing
idea.
to do in the new year, yeah.
Because right now I say I learn something new every day, but I don't physically write it down. Yeah. I think that would be so sick to write it down.
Or you could even have like a bulletin board or one of those jars where you put it in, and then on New Year's Eve you pull them out and you read it all. Because I feel like it's probably so easy to forget the little things that you learn.
Yeah.
So that's a great idea.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I could write it down and then, transfer it over later. I could also do like a video a week being like, here's all the things I learned this week.
Oh, I think that would take off.
Yeah.
There's this girl on TikTok and she does her Sheiks of the week. And it's one of my favorite series. She just sits in bed and she's got her rollers in and she's like, okay, guys, these are my Sheiks of the week. I think her name's Eli.
What is a
Don't
chic?
Quote me on that. But it's things that she finds chic. So it's like every week she has different things that she finds, and she does seasonal ones. So she did a Christmas one recently and it's like, hot chocolate with whatever. And she just talks about it. And I find it so soothing, so entertaining. And it's just something that I have never seen before. It's a type of video that I wouldn't have thought to make myself, but I don't know. I love the concept. So if you could kind of spin off that and say, these are all the things I learned this week.
But I could do a Sasha version.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Sasha, like, here's what Sasha learned this week. Or it could even be a Sasha version could be like, what's hot this week?
Yeah.
That's fun too. Can you write that down, Cam? I'm like Cam tapping over there. Yeah, see, I love this, brainstorming the ideas. One of our other guests was talking about how Mr. Beast talks about the formula for going viral is taking something that's already trending and another thing that's already trending and doing your own twist on it.
Cool.
Yeah. So basically what you're saying is exactly that.
Yeah.
This girl is doing what's chic. I could do my own twist as my character, which is already viral.
Totally.
What's hot or whatever I would say.
Yep.
Boom. Viral.
I love that.
Yeah. That's why
Can't wait to see it.
That's why my day in the my get ready with me to ruin the man's life.
Yeah.
I'm just taking get ready with me,
right,
but doing my own spin on it.
Exactly.
And I do really well. And I sometimes here's a flaw of mine, which I want to ask you about too. Sometimes when I know a series is viral, I don't do enough of it because I don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my videos are very different from yours, but like I have signature series kind of videos that I post pretty much once a week, if not multiple times a week. I film a lot of full days of eating, recipe videos, weeks of training, that kind of thing. And I know that style of video will always, perform well, but sometimes I'm like, is it too repetitive? Like, are people tired of seeing it? But every time I post it, it's still doing well. So it's kind of this mental battle of like, can I pivot it? Can I make it better? Or do I just stick with it because it's doing well and I don't need to change? It's like, don't fix what's broken or what's not broken,
It's like a double-edged sword here. It's like, don't fix what's broken, but then sometimes
everything's evolving, so you gotta continue to evolve.
And then I feel like if you do too much of the same thing every single day, it kind of gets
boring.
Yeah. So like, that's why I think it's important to have multiple series.
Yes.
So like, for instance, my multiple series are like my red flag, my vodka for that, my get ready with me is my bartending series, and then whatever random personal stuff I like to post.
But I think it is important to have those staple pillars for your brand or for, your personal brand, whatever, because it's reliable and people know that they're going to get that. And if it's something that they're interested in, like the Sheiks of the week, I know she's going to post one every week and I love them. So that's why I follow her. But I also love her other content, So having those, staple pillars or the signature series that I've seen people call it, I think is a good way to build like a solid bought-in audience. And then also those videos, because they're typically going more viral, it's going to bring in new people that are then subscribed to that as well.
Yeah, I really like that idea. I'm like starting to think like, what's hot this week? It could be anything, like a trend, an outfit, a da-da-da-da. That's fun.
Or you could do like, I drink to that every week.
I drink to that every week?
Like I drink to that. You know what I mean? Because you do your vodka.
I drink to that. And I get I like this. Okay, we've got a good direction here. Okay, so I know that you recently went to Berlin for a triathlon. That was
a marathon, yes.
Sorry, marathon. Went to Berlin for a marathon. That is so cool.
Very cool.
And a brand sent you, right? What brand and how did that happen?
Yeah, so the brand is Runna, Runna, and I've been working with them for 2.5 years maybe. So ever since I kind of started my running journey, I use their app. So it's a training app. They customize running programs for you based on your goals and your fitness level, whatever. And I started posting or just tagging them in my stories saying like, hey, I'm using this app, because people were wondering, because I had just started my running journey. And so people that were new to running also wanted a way to get into it. So they saw that it was getting traction. And then I started working with them as an athlete. And I've gone to a couple different races with them. I went to New York this past year as well to run a half marathon. And then I went to Berlin with them this year. So they just have athletes that they have on their roster, I guess, if you want to say that. And they kind of rotate through and they pick people to go to different races. So I have like a manager that I work with through them who asks me, hey, what's your race calendar looking like this year? Do you have any races on your, wish list that we could maybe get you into? And then we coordinate and we kind of schedule out what the year looks like, because obviously it takes time to train for these races. So you don't want to just be going back to back to back, but there are people that do it, and props to them. But personally, it's not the smartest thing for my body.
Yeah.
So yeah, they just asked me, we have this amazing opportunity. We would love for you to come to Germany. And I'm not going to say no to Germany. So I went, and I almost died, but it's okay. It was a hard race.
Really? What was so tough about it?
Oh, girl, everything. I mean, first of all, flying that far is going to take a toll on your body, right? So I was dehydrated from the flight. The time difference, I think, was 9 or 10 hours. So it's just, your body's confused. We got there on Friday night. The race was Sunday, and all day Saturday we had a shakeout run. We had to go to the event expo with the team. We had a dinner. Like, it was just, I had 30,000 steps that day, which
That's
is
a lot.
Hot take, not what you're supposed to do before a marathon. You're supposed to relax. So my body was tired. And then I woke up that morning of the race, and I didn't start the race until 10 a.m. Berlin time, which is very late to start a race. Typically I would start a marathon at like 6 or 7 a.m. here, right? But that was midnight our time. So my body was very confused. Like I said, I was not hydrated properly. The day before I was running around. I was, my body was exhausted. I hadn't fueled properly. I didn't take precautions. As somebody who runs marathons, I knew all the things that I did wrong, but I went into it and I was like, you know what, we're going to make the most of it. Turns out that day was abnormally hot and humid. So it was like 85 degrees, 95% humidity, and we're running through the streets of Berlin, but there's no shade for the first half. So my body, I'm just getting hit by the sun, and I'm fine to run in the heat, but as soon as I'm in the direct sun is when my body starts to take a toll. Like, if I'm hot but in the shade, I'm good. So anyways, I'm taking my gels, because you have to take these like carb, it's kind of like applesauce, think about that, in a little packet. So I'm taking those every 30-ish minutes. And because the heat is like hitting me so hard, I start to feel really nauseous. So I couldn't take any more of my gels. So by the halfway point, I was nauseous. And anytime I tried to take a gel, I wanted to puke. So I stopped taking them, which is bad, because you need the fuel to get you through, and you need the sodium. And I had electrolytes on me, but I had already finished them. So I didn't have any more sodium coming in, which I should have taken salt tabs with me, but I didn't. And normally the aid stations would have electrolytes at them. So you would get more sodium in from the gels and from the electrolytes, but they didn't have any. All they had was water. So I'm just knocking back water, but I'm getting more dehydrated because it's just diluting anything that's left in my system. So I start cramping so hard at like 30 kilometers, and I still have 12 kilometers to go. And my quads, I've never cramped like this during a race ever. I've never struggled so hard. And I ran the first half with one of my friends, and she was also struggling like crazy. She actually stopped and had to walk like halfway. I'm like trying to get through it. I'm like meeting my husband like at different checkpoints, just like literally collapsing on him, being like, this is so hard. People are collapsing left, right, and center. Like, it was so abnormally hot. Yes. And one of the biggest races in the world, it's a world major. There was 60,000 people running it, I think. It was crazy. What? And I'm not even kidding, 200 meters from the finish line. So you basically cross, it's called the Brandenburg Gates, I think. It's like this huge monument, and you run underneath it. And a lot of people think that right there is the finish, but there's still like 200 meters after that. So people give it their all until they get to this gate, and then they see that, oh, I'm actually not at the end and I have to keep running, but they just collapse on the ground. And there was like probably 5 or 6 people when I was about to cross the finish line that were just literally on the ground, collapsed, paramedics, because your body gives up. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So it was a really hard race. I finished it. I vomited after. It was not a fun time. I laid in bed and ate bread, and it was a whole thing. It was a great experience. Like, definitely will not forget it. That's for sure. It's ingrained in my memory. But I didn't tackle the planning accordingly, like I should have. So lesson learned.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. This is like not at all how I thought your race went.
Oh, no. I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoyed myself. It was so cool to run through the streets of Berlin, but I will approach races that are in different countries or just far away a lot differently next time, because all of my other races that I've ran, I've had such positive experiences. So please don't let that deter you from running a marathon. I promise they are rewarding. They're not easy, but they're rewarding, and it's always I mean, I felt great when I crossed the finish line, obviously. So
wow, I mean, good on you. Like running a marathon is like the last thing I'd want to do. But
I thought that 2 years ago, girl. So
I know. I'm fascinated though, and like impressed, like that you can do that. What's your best marathon time?
My fastest was 4:12, which isn't crazy.
Is that
like I'm
4
I'm not a
hours?
fast runner. Yeah,
4 hours and 12 minutes,
which is average, I would say. Like a lot of people, one of the girls on the team, her first marathon, she ran it this year in 2 hours and 52 minutes, which is crazy. She's very fast. So there's, all different. That's another thing I will say too in the running space is I'm a fairly average runner, like pace-wise, but as a creator in the running space, sometimes it can be easy to get discouraged when you see all these people running crazy times and running so many races in a year, and it's like, whoa, am I not doing enough, or am I not athletic? But you're seeing such a niche group of people who are such elite athletes. The average person is like, and like you, who's like, oh my God, like I couldn't even run a marathon. That's crazy that you finished it, right?
Yeah.
So I always try and reflect back and remind myself of that, because it's so easy to get caught up in the comparison game.
Oh yeah, comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah.
It's that anytime I find myself comparing, I'm like, stop. You are your own original human. No one else looks like you. No one else is you.
Yeah.
You're awesome,
Totally.
What is the world record for a marathon?
Like right under 2 hours. Yeah, it's crazy.
And how many kilometers and miles is that?
42.2 kilometers, 26.1 miles.
Wow. I think I used to run a mile in like 7 minutes in high school.
That's good. That's pretty good.
Back in the day.
Yeah, they're running like I don't know the conversion. If I had to guess, like a 4-something mile for 26 miles. Like it's insanely fast. It's like a 2-minute kilometer. It's insane.
Okay, so what is...
I can't even sprint that fast, for context.
Yeah. Okay, so how does a marathon work? Like, what is the pacing for it?
It's really dependent person to person. Some people will start out and try and maintain the same pace the whole time. I typically start out a bit slower and then try and get a little bit faster, but then sometimes it backfires because you're tired and then you slow down anyways. So that's why some people will just start out a little bit faster anyways. So it really depends. People work with different coaches. They have different strategies, and I've done various different methods. My fastest one, I started a bit slower and then I gradually got faster. And my fastest half marathon, I just kept the same pace the whole time. So different strategies can work. I wouldn't say there's like one right answer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I already know that, every sport and every niche has their own like ways of training and setting up. And how many hours a day are you training for a marathon?
I actually, fun fact, only ran twice a week training for my marathons, which is not typical for marathon training. But I thought it was cool to be able to share that with my audience, because it gave people that have regular jobs and more normal schedules a little bit of insight into the fact that they don't have to be running 5 days a week like some of these elite athletes. So that was really cool to be able to show people like, hey, you can still run a marathon as long as your goal isn't like insane. Like if you just want to, like myself, my goal is always just to cross the finish line and to have a good time. And I did that running twice a week. But now that I'm training for a triathlon, I'm typically training two different disciplines a day. So it's a lot of time. So this morning I swam, and that's my only workout for the day, actually. If you can see my goggle marks, that's why. But yesterday I did a gym workout, and then I did an hour bike session, or I'll have a run, and then later in the day I have a swim or whatever. So yeah, it's a little bit more intense than just marathon training.
Are you primarily training for triathlons now over marathons?
Yes and no. That's my main goal. So people in the endurance world, I guess you you have like your A races, your B races.
Okay.
So my A race right now is my triathlon that I'm training for. And then I have a B race and a C race. So my B race, I'm actually running the Miami half marathon in January. And then my C race is I'm doing the Las Vegas rock and roll half marathon with my mom for her birthday this year or next year. So yeah, I'm still training for the marathons, half marathons. But in my actual triathlon that I'm running, I finish with a half marathon. So it'll help me training for it.
Oh, interesting. Duh. Yeah, of course you run a half marathon.
Yeah.
What is the A race then?
It's the triathlon. So basically that's a half Ironman. So I'm not doing a full Ironman. That's a little ambitious for me personally at this current moment, but I'll be swimming 1.9 kilometers, which I think is like 1.2 miles. I'm going to be biking 90 kilometers, which is I think like 40 something miles, and then running a half marathon. And that's back to back to back.
Yes.
No breaks. Yeah.
And then when is that?
Oh, sorry. It's in March.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So January B race, March A race.
B race. Yeah. B race January, C race February, March A race.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. How far in advance do you need to train for these?
Oh, it totally depends. Again, my goal is always just to finish and have fun. I've definitely done races where I've tried to hit a time, but lately it's just more so been I want to enjoy it. I don't want to the last thing that I want when it comes to training is to hate it. Like I don't want to train and put so much pressure on myself that I'm hating my life training for it. So I just try and enjoy it. Obviously there's going to be sessions that are harder than others, but for the most part I'm enjoying what I'm doing. So yeah, I mean, what was the question? Sorry. I literally lost my train of thought.
No. This is great. I was just curious, bleh. No, I was just curious, like what you said you were, wow, words are hard.
It's okay.
We'll cut this part out. We can just piggyback off this part where you're training for fun and not just training to be this, like, I'm going to be the best runner in the world. You know what I mean? And or else you're going to lose the joy from it.
Yeah. It's been hard. Like it's this comparison game sometimes that comes up being on social because you see these people that are hitting these crazy times. But I've been in that mindset where I've wanted to hit specific times or I've wanted to like perform in a certain way, and then it just takes the joy out of it. So I really try my best to just embrace it and have fun with it. And yeah, that's why I have my ABC race. I'm good with that. I don't need to hit like specific times. I just really want to finish it and not feel like I felt after Berlin because that was not fun.
Yeah. Are you sharing on social media more of this raw, authentic, like, hey, this is how I train for a race. This is the stuff I don't like to do.
Yeah, for sure. I made a video after the Berlin Marathon and I was like, I almost died at Berlin and here's my story.
Yeah.
It did pretty good. And then
how many views did it get?
I don't know. I'd have to look at my TikTok.
Oh, that's fine.
But I also talk a lot about like training twice a week and like though I guess it's not really vulnerable of me to say, but maybe it is because again, comparing to people who train 5-6 days a week normally, like that is a contrast. But yeah, I think I'm sharing the vulnerable side. I'm sharing like, hey, this is hard. I've fallen on my bike. Like I have my bad days, but at the same time, because I don't put as much pressure on myself to hit these certain times, I'm not struggling as much as other people. I don't know. It's hard to say because people are always going to paint their version of what they want the world to see from them. And it's hard to know if they're actually enjoying their training as much as they say they are. I will say I enjoy mine most of the time, but there's definitely days where I don't. And that's just the reality. I think it's normal,
Yeah. What is something you wish you knew about social media before you started?
I don't know if I didn't know this, but maybe it's just it's been highlighted more, which is that everybody is going to have an opinion. And if you are constantly trying to change the way that you create or the way that you express to appease everybody, it's never going to work because regardless of how you approach it, somebody's always going to disagree or have a negative opinion about you. So just doing what feels the best to you, what feels the most authentic, what you enjoy creating and producing the most is kind of what I've learned to do, and just embrace that. And I think also going into it, if you are somebody that's looking to get into like the creative world and the creator world, going into it because you love creating and not because you think it's going to create a lifestyle for you. I think a lot of people try and go into the creative side nowadays because they see these rich influencers and yada, yada, yada. And that is a very small percentage of the industry. And it's not to say that it can't happen for you, because it totally can, but it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of consistency, a lot of behind the scenes that people maybe don't necessarily see. And if you don't love the nitty gritty and the day to day, you're probably going to fall off eventually.
100%. I've seen so many kids in interviews, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? An influencer, a YouTuber, because they see Mr. Beast and they see all these big creators, but I don't think they actually want it. They just want to do it because of the fame and the numbers. Versus, I'm sure, like you, I just started creating content because it was fun for me. I was just a little ADHD kid with a camera, and I was like, ooh, let's make videos. And this is like 20 years ago when, like, nobody cared about your followers or likes or anything like that. So I think we came into an era of creating content because we like to, and then a career followed. Are you full-time a content creator?
I used to coach, so I used to do fitness coaching as well. And I still have a couple clients that I love, but for the most part, it's just the content side now. And it's been cool to transition and pivot.
How are you making most of your revenue? Is it through brand deals, monetization?
Brand deals, and I work with a couple different brands that I am on kind of salary with, I guess you could say.
Like a retainer.
So it's a consistent monthly payment, and then I get commission from those sponsorships as well. And then, brand deals that I have a manager that I work with, so she'll bring in brand deals and things like that for me as well.
Fun. Yeah, it's always interesting to see how other people make money on social media because, you know, monetizing on a lot of these apps is pretty hard. YouTube's like the best one. Do you make a decent amount on YouTube or not yet?
Not great.
Okay.
I mean,
not yet.
It's subjective, obviously, but not what I would want to make.
So it'd be brand deals is like your bread and butter. And then how did you get into getting these brand deals?
I mean, originally, this was like when I first started working with the different fitness clothing brands and the supplement brands. It was back in the day when like those were just kind of the only partnerships that were really happening. But I'm lucky that I've have established relationships with these brands that I've been working with since basically the dawn of my social media. So my audience is very familiar with the fact that I work with them, and it helps with like recurring revenue, because anyone that knows that I've been working with a supplement brand, for example, for 5 years, they just know that I have a code and they're always going to use that code. So that's kind of how I got started in the salary side of it. I got signed on like that. And then I actually started working with my manager this past year, and she helped me. I mean, I obviously get inbound requests for sponsorships and collabs and stuff, but then she also has her network of brands that she's connected with, and so we kind of work together. If she'll hear, hey, I have this opportunity with Nike, for example, are you interested? And yes, or I'm like, I got this email, can you negotiate for me, etc. So we kind of work hand in hand.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, I remember hitting you up about brand deals. I actually got a brand manager now, so that's cool. Yeah, they've been getting me brand deals, but I've also been moving my content into, yes, I do my Sasha character, but I've been doing more fashion and more bartending stuff because I love fashion. And now I'm, work with Hot Topic. I work with a bunch of other clothing companies. So it's like, you said something earlier about the Runna app where you just started tagging them, and next thing you know, you're going to Berlin for a race sponsored by them. Tag your favorite brands. You never freaking know. You never know. They might sponsor you. Like Hot Topic literally sends me stuff all the time. They sent me like a really cool ornament. I was like sick. So I think that's something a lot of people think, is that you have to wait for the brand to sponsor you. If you love a brand, tag them, because if you do it enough, they will see that you're dedicated, and they'll be like, cool, let's work with you.
I work with Lululemon, and I'm pretty sure they found my account through my LTK, because I would post my Lululemon on my LTK, and then they saw that I was making sales on their products very consistently, and then they reached out to work with me because they knew, well, she's tagging our products, she's wearing them, and she can sell them. So that's also another way as well. Have you dabbled in TikTok Shop yet? No. But I've heard crazy TikTok Shop stories.
Yeah, one of my friends, she's buying a house because of TikTok Shop. So crazy. I'm dabbling in TikTok Shop a lot right now. Like, I'm just going balls to the wall. Like, literally, I have tons of brands in my DMs on TikTok because I have such a big following. And so I just started accepting anything that like is a product that I would actually use, and making videos and having, posting a ton of them. What I've noticed, weirdly enough, games, card games, any fun games are the ones are the things I sell.
Okay.
I can literally wear leggings. I can wear all these other like different products, have like headphones, whatever. Nope.
Yeah.
Games.
Okay.
And what I've learned from TikTok Shop, if you're learning to get on it, sell the experience, don't sell the product. So when I post the game content, it's just me and my friends playing the games.
Yeah.
And they're so fun. The games are so fun. Like we're actually having fun.
Yeah.
It's not, manufactured. And so people want to experience that and they buy the games. I was like, it makes sense. It's marketing, but it's very interesting. So I do a lot of testing myself. So, if any of the brands that you are wearing right now are on TikTok Shop, post those videos and tag it.
Yeah.
You never know.
That's a good idea. I like that though, sell the experience.
Yes.
I think that goes for any product or anything that you'd want to promote is like sell the experience and the feeling of it. Especially women, we buy like based on emotion. So if you can sell an emotion, you can sell the product.
Exactly. So sometimes as a creator, it's hard for me to like step back as a consumer and look at the video and be like, would I buy this, right? With this video? Because as a creator, you're seeing it from your point of view. This is a great video, but then I'm like, but would I actually buy the product? So I try to do that sometimes where I'm like, okay, hold on.
Yeah, take a bird's eye view.
Yeah. Plus, I like to look at what other people are making. However, looking at what other TikTok Shop videos people are making won't necessarily work for you because maybe that's their style. Maybe that's the types of products they're good at selling versus like, apparently I sell games in a Jell-O shot maker, which makes so much sense for Sasha. Yeah, my friend's parents make a Jell-O shot maker. It's so sick. It literally, you put it in there and you just press it down. I don't know why I use my hand. You press it down and it fills the Jell-O shot up perfectly.
Wow.
And
Is
then,
it instantaneous?
yes, it's like, you just mix the Jell-O shot stuff, put it in the container, and it's like a gelinator.
Yeah.
And obviously I did a bartending recipe video with it, sold a bunch, and then I did another video, sold a bunch, and as my Russian character makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? And then when I play the games though, I'm normal me or American me. And those for some reason sell, but they're the one videos where I'm selling an experience.
Right.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good takeaway for sure.
Yeah, it's fun. Well, I think we're at our end here. I've learned so much today about triathlons and then kind of your experience in social media. Tell our audience where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, you could find me. My last name is a little hard to pronounce, but Erica Nangle-Fit. I'm going to spell it for you guys. Erica, ERICA NANGLEFIT on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's all the same. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It was so fun.
Woo, we did it.